7:01 p.m. Everyone would stand for the pledge of allegiance and then followed by moment of silence. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now for a moment of silence. Okay, thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the communication from patrons, and just as a reminder, any communication is required to be limited to existing agenda items. So do we have any public comments tonight? No? Okay, well, thank you for coming. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the next agenda item. The entire board has received the minutes of the February 9th regular meeting. We have had plenty of opportunity to review them. And so I would like to have a motion to accept the meeting minutes from February 9th of 2026 of our regular board meeting.
So moved.
You second? Second. Thank you. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have the approval of personnel changes. Eric?
So we have several items on here. The first being the employment of Mr. Ben Ennis as a junior senior high MOMHA. You will see further down the list that we are transferring Liz Castle from that A position to junior senior high school secretary. So that is the reason for that change. Mr. Ennis has been subbing for us quite a bit this school year, and he does fabulous in that classroom, and he was actually excited to have that opportunity, and we're really glad to have him in there. We see a couple resignations, retirements actually for Darrell Pens. This is effective at the end of the school year. She is gonna continue to drive bus for us at the school corporation, but she is ready to retire her teaching position and looking forward to that. So, I told her that wasn't allowed, but I understand, and we look forward to seeing her. I think she's hoping to sub and, still be a part of our schools, and so that's great, but she's ready and she deserves that, so. We're losing Sydney Binkley as our junior senior high secretary, and marketing coordinator, as she was just getting going with that role. She is stepping out of the school corporation to go to the corporate world and take a different position, so, we are going to miss her. She's been a great asset to the school corporation and has done really well, for us for quite some time, so it's very bittersweet. Excited for her opportunity, but we will miss her contributions to the school system. And then Jared Miller, who is the junior high English teacher, will also be retiring at the end of this school year. Mr. Binkley has provided a list of coaches for us to review and approve for the spring season. And as well as we have a varsity soccer assistant, that's on that behind that, obviously that won't happen in the fall. Everything else is for softball, track and field, and lacrosse. So I'll give you a minute to read through those.
Most of the people on the list I'm very familiar with, but Zach Hyman,
Yeah.
is he a former player? or-
Mhm. Yes.
Got it.
Yep. Any other questions? Okay, and then D was the transfer that I already mentioned with Liz Castle.
Okay, thank you, Eric. personnel changes as provided by Karen Johnson.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now we're gonna move into the section of our capital project.
And the heat is on because Mr. Drennan has the stomach flu, so I am going to do my best to just, capture, I should have, is this in your packet? No, okay, so in your electronic packet, you should see the letter of recommendations that, Greg provided for us, that goes through all of the bids. So we have 6, 7, and 8, are the bids that have come in for the construction we are getting ready to kick off. We're very familiar with the projects because he has been here to brief us on all of that from the get-go, from the scope of the work all the way through what we are working on. And now that the bond process is complete, we were able to open up for bids and we are ready to make motions on those tonight so we can start issuing contracts and getting everything lined up. So, I feel like we're in a marathon and we're not quite halfway here, but we're getting a lot closer. We've made it through that bond process, which as a first process for me, I'm really happy to have that behind me. So, we'll start with the tunnel piping replacement. That was project A. We did receive 3 bids, so that was exciting to see 3 people show up. You know, you always gonna wonder, are we gonna have people, we're a small corporation, and do we entice those people to come in? And so I felt like our bids went really well. We would like to consider the bid given to us by Core Mechanical Services. The base bid was $771,900, including $87,496 in allowance, which was built into the base bid price. The estimated cost for this project was $355,160, so it is way above what LWC had estimated. But as you know, with the tunnel project, it has been a bit of a mystery from the get-go. We've had several people down there. I can say I did the walkthrough when Core Mechanical was here, and I thought they were extremely thorough. We opened up access to them, and they did go down in there, and bless their hearts, they went down in there and came back out, looking like they'd been in a tunnel, and had taken photos and copious notes and asked some really good questions, and so I feel like they've done good due diligence in putting this bid together. All bids came in right around the same, so we don't feel like this was overshooting that bid. I think we just don't quite know the scope of what's to be expected. Both Mr. Spiker and I felt for a while that 355 might have been an underestimate, and we figured that we might get a few surprises, so we're hoping that this just cuts down on those surprises. So, oh, and I went out of order, sorry, that's number 8, but it was A on my list, so, do you want me to go through all of them and then you just go through the motions, or do you
Yeah.
want to?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go to B on my list here for roofing replacement. You recall when Greg gave us the sheets, those were broken up into a couple different projects, projects B, C, and E. We received 2 bids for this work. That did make me a little nervous. We thought we were gonna have 7 people come in, and we had 2, and so it was a little nerve-wracking, but then when we opened the bids, everything was pretty good. They came in really close to each other, but we would like to consider the bid for SPG roofing. The base bid was $850,800, including the $63,970 allowance that was built into the bid base. We would like to accept the alternate bids they also placed at $123,600 for alternate 1, and for alternate 2 was $163,200. The total contract amount with both of those alternates will be $1,137,600. This is the lowest price considering one or both alternates. It was interesting because the other company had a lower base bid, but the alternates were higher. And so it gave us some really good options to look at, and he contemplated those both for a while and felt like SPG had the best bid overall. this original estimated cost was 3 million, so that makes up for the the tunnel.
Why so far off though?
So, that's a great question, but when we originally did the scope of work for the roofs, we were basing all of that on complete tear down, all the way to nothing. When we reviewed all of that, we had Kevin and Greg come back in one day, and then I met with him, and we felt like there were areas of roof that wasn't necessary for, but we wanted them to price it that way in case we got into some sections where you just don't know what's under there, which is why we had, those core samples taken, so we would have a better idea. So we feel like their bids again were extremely similar, and, one had said they'd studied the project for quite some time, and we're very confident with their bids, so, we feel that that's a good estimate of where it's gonna be. And of course, construction costs of materials has been fluctuating greatly as well, so I think that plays into it. When we started this scope of work, it's been quite a while ago, it's taken us a while to get to this point, so, rather err on the higher side and get the lower bids. And then the last one is the exterior masonry repairs, which is Project D. We had one bid come in for this, but it was a very good company. And Greg was excited that that was who came in for that bid. It's Solowski Construction, and the base bid was $134,500, including the allowance of $70,843. And again, that was estimated at much higher, at $360,468. If the board awards contracts to these three contractors, we will issue a notice to proceed letter to each contractor on Tuesday and begin preparing contracts for the signatures. So that's what we shared. Any other questions?
And is the timeline, our anticipated timeline still looks
Yes,
like it's in
so that
place?
was all reviewed in our pre-bid meetings with everybody that came in. They knew the timelines, and if they were placing a bid, they know that that is what is expected to do that. So the masonry, we're hoping to get started before the end of the school year, because there's no reason why they can't get up there and get that done. Get that complete before the roofing needs to get started, and then as soon as school breaks for the school year, we will have, tunnel access ready for them to get going, because that's a short window, so that's the most strategic of the projects at this point.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right. Can I have a motion to approve the bid for the roofing repairs with SPG Roofing, $1,137,600, that includes the two alternates. Number two, the consideration for bid for mason repairs. I won't say this right, Zion House Construction, $134,500, which includes the alternate. And last is the consideration of the bid for the tunnel repairs, and that is with Core Mechanical, $771,900. Can I have a motion?
So moved. All three.
Thank you. Second? Second. Thank you. Does anyone have any further discussion or questions regarding the projects? All right, all in favor on all three, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. These are some extremely important projects that, it would be nice to get working on them.
I'm anxious to move forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, next on the agenda, excuse me, we have the approval of the latest LWC invoice for the future bond study. We've had that invoice in our package to review, we've plenty of time to take a look at it. Does anyone have any questions about the invoice to LWC? No? Jenny?
I don't necessarily know if I saw the invoice, I'm still trying to find it.
That's okay.
Anyone else find it? 'Cause I did not find it. be a pay estimate to Michiana Contractors. See, another pay estimate to Michiana Contractors. And then the bids. Or if you just have a copy, Carrie,
Must
yeah.
be.
How much was it?
Here's my packet. Oh, that's all LWC stuff. There's a, on item 11, some of those are part of item 11.
Yeah, I don't think this is a.
This is just invoice 19371.
Yeah. $31,543.
Okay, this is the last one in the packet. Alright, can I have a motion to approve the payment of LWC invoice 19371 for a total of $31,543?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Next, we have the approval of Ice Miller invoice for the services rendered through February 26th, 2026, which is the ad valorem property tax authority bonds series 2026.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one's in the packet.
So moved.
Second.
Sorry, thank you. Oh, goodness. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Then we have a series of additional LWC invoices for lighting replacements, tunnel piping, roofing and coating replacement, exterior masonry repairs, and elementary patio area. Those went around for us to review. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. All right. All right, can I have a motion to approve the LWC invoices? So moved. Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Then we have the approval of Michiana contracting pay applications number 4 and number 5 for the lighting replacements. And this includes the retainage. There are 2 invoices, one for $18,008.92, one for $29,611.19. And those are in our,
I think the first one was 1,800. Not really.
oh yeah, I'm sorry, $1,808.92, sorry. And then $29,611.19. Had a chance to review those. Anyone have any questions regarding those invoices? Right, can I have a motion to approve the 2 Michiana contracting pay applications?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have the approval of the purchase of a used school bus from Curlin Bus Sales and Leasing for a total of $10,000. Carrie, will you please?
I would love to tell you about
Fill us all in on that.
So we had a bus go down that we thought we were gonna be able to make a repair on, and we went down that road not the news you ever wanna get from a mechanic. It would have required a complete a new engine and a bus that wasn't worth putting an engine into. So we started the search for a used bus. Andy was able to find one at Berlin Bus Sales, and it is an upgrade from where we were at. It is still used and not brand new, but it is definitely going to fix the problem that we had by losing a bus. Because our spares are in use right at the moment, so we didn't have an extra one. So we had to make that decision. We have been watching auctions and, being ready to make some purchases. So we're very thankful that Berlin had this one, and we felt confident in it. I did a walkthrough with him last week. It definitely is an upgrade, so we're just gonna be happy that that worked out and that they had one available for us and we could get that switched around, so.
This is one of the yellow buses.
Correct.
And I know that we have had, in our capital plan, and we attempted to buy a brand new bus several years ago, not too long after I came on board, and that was during COVID, and eventually got canceled, and so are we at a point where we should resurrect looking at in the future?
Yes, so those are discussions that I have started with both Andy and Kelly to start getting, bus replacement fund where we're looking at that seriously. Not in a position today to tell you that, hey, that's gonna happen this year or the next budget year, but at least planning forward to know that we, instead of looking all the time at options or hoping that we can find a used one, to start replacing some of our older ones with the newer ones. Not saying that these aren't good finds when we can find them and come across them, but we do need to start moving forward with getting, some brand new replacements in works. Question?
All right, can I have a motion to purchase, for the purchase of used school bus, Berlin Bus Sales Leasing for a total of $10,000?
So moved.
Second? Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the approval of 2026 summer school dates and summer school hours.
So we will be offering summer school again this year, with a little caveat. Because of our tunnel piping project that's gonna kick off, we are gonna be, we're gonna be struggling a little bit with access to all areas of the building without having open areas. And so we are going to have to concentrate summer school into one section of junior high school hallway. Because our elementary wing will have the open tunnel at the Y, and door 12 is going to have open access points. There will be some open access points down here. And at this point in time, until we start to kick off our construction meetings, I do not know what water access is going to look like. There may be periods of time where we don't have it at all, and it may be in phases. So there's a lot of questions there, but we know that we need to accommodate in order for them to get this work done in the short time frame of summer. So we are going to run summer school for grades 2 and 3, which is required by law for the I-read recovery, reading recovery. Anyone who did not pass the I-read, and I have a report on that in a little bit, will be asked to attend, and then the third testing opportunity for that test will take place during that time frame. Grade 4 and 5, we'd like to offer math, reading and language arts recovery for those older students, as well as grades 6, 7, and 8. We are just cutting out K1 because part of the problem is without water, you don't have restrooms. So we will have restrooms, the rest of us that are working all summer will have restrooms in the auditorium lobby, but that's very difficult for the little ones to get down to. So, we feel like for this year, at least we need to not have that, for safety reasons, really. We would like to run summer school for the first 2 weeks of June. This is the same that we did last year. We seem to get a little bit better attendance by shortening that up. We would like to run that from 8 to 11:30. 11:30 instead of noon this time because of the still be offered. Mr. Mills sets his own schedule for that because he works individually or with groups for students and as well as the high school, at SAE. So those are more independent and those times and dates are set by those instructors. So I just ask that we can approve those 2 weeks of summer school as well as the times being presented and the classes being presented.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the 2026 summer school dates and summer school hours as outlined by Terry Johnson?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Then we have the approval of 2026 summer work schedule. Eric?
Yeah, so as in previous years, we have moved to a 4-day work schedule in the summer. It's nice because we can harness those energy savings, those cost and energy savings. And it's a perk too for the people that are working all summer long. They get their hours in, the other 4 days, and they work hard, to do so, and they enjoy that, the little bit longer weekends during those months. But mostly we are definitely saving money on just, not running the overhead for Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays during the month of summer. So I'm asking that we approve the 4-day work week, beginning June 1st and ending, actually August 7th, prior to our first student day on August the 12th. We have a little bit later start this year.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the 2026 summer work schedule as outlined by Terry Johnson? Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the approval of claims. Kelly? Pardon? Oh, I skipped one, I'm sorry. How about we read? No, I need to do this one. I skipped this one. I know.
Okay, oh, I see, you missed that one, gotcha.
I skipped,
I thought maybe you could.
Yeah. no,
Gotcha.
we're good. It's me. I'm having a moment.
It's okay.
It's okay. Okay, next on the agenda is the policy review and recommendation regarding policy 2410. We have all had the opportunity to review that policy and the recommendations prior to this meeting. And does anyone have any further questions? No? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the recommended changes for policy 2410?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now, Kelly, how about the claims? How's
Okay.
that sound?
I am asking for approval for 10 pages of accounts payable claims in the amount of $76,517.67, and 3 pages of payroll claims totaling $299,645.35, for a total claim docket of $376,160.02.
And we have all had the opportunity to review the details of the claims in our packets. Does anyone have any questions about the claims? No? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the claims with a total of $376,163.02 as presented by Kelly?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have the instructional report.
So his test we kicked it off with iRead. And can I say I'm glad I'm not administering that this year? It is a very monotonous thing to sit there and listen over and over, but I'm extremely happy with results that have come in so far. So this would be, as you know, I've reported on this a couple years now. They have 3 testing opportunities. That has grown. It used to be 1, then 2, now 3. So this is the first round of testing opportunities. This year it is mandatory for grade 2, but we have been on board with that for a couple of years. And so we are seeing about the same results that we have for the past 2 years. We had 55 testers in grade 2, and 23 of them at this current time had passed, which is 42%, which is pretty good for a second grade and pretty average for what we've seen in the past. 13 of those students are showing as on track. The ones that did not pass, 13 are on track, and 19 of those students are showing at risk. And so now they are being slotted into different types of interventions to help them. And then, as we just talked about with summer school, all of those students will be invited to attend summer school. And we'll go forward from there with second grade. We see a lot of growth between those 2 grades. It's nice to get a chunk of those students kind of over that hurdle, and so we can start focusing a little bit heavier on those interventions for the students that aren't quite to that mark yet. In grade 3, we had 40 testers. 31 of those testers have passed, which is 78%. The state has a threshold of, they want everybody to be above 70%, so we have met that mark. 25 of those kids passed last year in second grade, so that's why it's nice to have that second grade test. So that leaves us with 6 that still need to get through that hurdle this year. All of them are able to receive a good cause exemption if they do not pass the second or third testing, so they will be able to move on, with the exception of 1 student, but Megan is reporting that they're confident he will probably get when he does his second testing opportunity. This is the first year that we have had to continue testing students that did not pass in 3rd grade but moved on to 4th grade because of a good cause exemption. We now have to test those students until they reach 7th grade or until they pass. And so there will be students that we see continually needing to take this test, no matter what. They do not have exit, unless they pass, which is unfortunate for some. But in 4th grade, we had 4 testers, and one of those was able to pass this year, so that's great. I'm really happy to hear that. And they will continue to stay in interventions, receive that extra instruction, as well as the extra testing opportunities. So she will update me again. They will test one more time before the end of the school year. And then, as reported earlier, that 3rd testing happens in June. Okay. So hopefully we'll see a few more.
We have guidelines on what the state considers a minimum for 3rd grade. Is the state, to your knowledge, is the state putting together any information on the 2nd graders that
Not that
schools could look at or compare themselves to, or?
Not that we've seen yet. They do the reporting a little bit differently. When you're in 3rd grade, is you pass or you don't pass. In 2nd grade, they give you some data that returns where it says you're either at risk, you're on track, or you pass. And so it kind of breaks it down in a little bit different manner, so you know how to approach those students earlier on. Like I said, with those different interventions and pieces, so that you can hopefully have that year before the end of 3rd grade to work through that. Yep. And then iLearn testing, there should be in your electronic packet just the dates that we will be testing this year. That comes quick after spring break. There will be a line that goes out to students, families, and staff with the dates. I'm going to wait until we return from spring break because I feel like if I send it now, it's not going to make an impression on anybody and they will forget. And the importance of that letter is because of our schedule that we run for the senior high with those 2-hour delay days so that we can get those students tested. It's a really different situation than being in the elementary where we can block that time for those students. are asking for 2-hour delay days on April 20th, 21st, 27th, and 28th, so there's 4 days. The 20th and 21st is for the English language arts test. The 27th will be for math, that did shorten for that age range, down to 1 testing day. And then we are reserving the 28th for makeup testing for any type of testing for students that missed. Science, they will be able to handle that in the class because it's not every grade level that test, so they work that a little different, so we do not need to delay on that time frame. And they will be doing that after all the other tests are done, the week of April 30th.
Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions, Carrie, in regards to the instructional report? Okay. Next, we have the financial reports.
So on the screen, we will start with the education fund. There we go. Computer was having a moment. I think when you and I met last week, I was fighting with my
Yeah.
computer too. So the education fund, this is for, expenditures through February. We are, at the red line, we're 16% of the way through, and you can see where our education fund, we've spent 12% of that so far. So we're up to what I would say a good start for the year. Pretty steady, if you look back, pretty comparable to previous years. The year 2023, I'm not sure what was going on in that year, but I noticed in slides, it's been a pattern. So, it's interesting to look at that education fund in 2023, but then to look on the next side of operations, it's way up. So, I think there's just always some give and take in there. But so far, we're doing well on the education fund. Operations, again, we're at the same percent way through the year, and that's 12 as well for operations. Now, I intend this to not look so pretty next month because we just bought this. So, we're gonna see that come out of there, and, but that's okay because we know that that's why it happened. As I told Pat last week, it's better to know why than to have a surprise and try to be figuring out what's going on. So, we had planned for, we do have that money in the budget lines, and so I feel okay with making that purchase with the bus, but if we learn if we start to see a upward trend there for a little bit until we even things out. Then, our cash reserves, I did, I changed it.
I like it.
I got tired of fighting with
It's
those
good, yeah, me
numbers,
too. Yeah.
because it was doing it again, so I thought, why don't we just do this in a different format? We can obviously still see that it's growing and, that we're maintaining that cash reserve rate. And it's pretty consistent with a year ago. I mean, we're up slightly, but the positive there is we're not on a downward trend. So that continues to remain strong at $7,189,738, as well as our rainy day fund. Again, that has, you can see it's leveled off in 23, and we've been able to maintain that consistently. And as we talk every month, that's where we want to be. We don't want to go any lower. And at this point in time, I mean, it wouldn't make me sad if that grew, but at the same time, I know we have needs that's not allowing us to do that. And as long as we have it in cash reserves, we're doing okay. So that is your snapshot for the month, for February. Okay.
So does anyone have any questions in regards to the financial report? No? All right. Do we have any other closing comments from anyone? shopping?
Thank you for coming.